Welcome to the Zepparella Learning Channel. My name is Holly West. I am the bassist of Zepparella. You are watching the third video of a three-part tutorial on Immigrant Song. By now, in the first two videos, you've been working on your chops and you've got it up to speed. So what's next? Well, we're going to talk about tone. We're going to talk about some performance tips, and I also want to talk to you about hand fatigue. Gear and tone. So this is my main bass that I use, and this is a Fender Jazz 62 replica. John Paul Jones used his 62 quite a bit, so I was really lucky to find this one. I put flat wounds on this. I use DR flat wounds. That's my favorite. And it just basically goes into the tuner into my rig. This is my rig that I use on tour when we're not backlining. It's the 8x10 cab with your 800 watt Bassman amp. This is a hybrid. Weighs only 15 pounds. It's so awesome. But my tone on this is typically I'll have my volume put about 7 depending on the room. Then my bass I have up quite a bit, usually on 7. My mids and treble I take down to 5 or 3 depending on the room. If it's a really big room and it's hard to hear everything or the bass cabinet is pushed back, I'll turn it up a little bit. I want my bass to sound warm and full, so that's why I turn a lot of the highs down, a lot of the lows up. If you want to cut through a little bit more, then you might want to turn the mids up a little bit more. I don't typically turn the treble up too much because I find it a little bit annoying. That's my personal preference. So here is how it would sound if it's just on what I normally do, which everything's turned down. And then when you turn it up a little bit, it sounds like this. Just a little bit of a difference to cut through, but you still have that nice warm JPJ sound. So let's talk about hand fatigue. There are 27 bones in each of your hands. They all have associated ligaments and muscles to each of those bones. That's why it's very important to warm up your hands and also cool them down, much like a vocalist does for the vocal cords and diaphragm. I was a massage therapist for 8 years. I've retired, but I work on myself a lot. And you might even see me on stage working on my hands because a 2-hour show can be very taxing to all of those muscles. What I'm trying to prevent is carpal tunnel, hand fatigue, injured muscles, and also keeping my range of motion. If your hands are cramping up, and what happens is they start kind of doing this thing, you can start getting arthritis. So with the stretching of the muscles, you're going to keep everything very healthy. So let me walk you through a couple of things. First, you can interlace your fingers like this, move them together, and do a stretch out like this. Hold it for a couple seconds, come back through, go back this way. Take, let's say the left hand, take your right hand. Move your thumbs, stretching out the muscles back like this. This feels awesome. And do that to every single finger, stretching them back. Ooh, I popped. Cupping them like this, moving your hand in to stretch out all of the muscles here. With your thumb, there's a huge muscle right here. It's the strongest muscle in your hand. And it's really hard to actually decompress that bone here, but you can actually push up right here, and that stretches out all of this muscle here. And of course, going back this way does the same thing. You can stretch it out like that. Usually you'll have a pop in there. So rolling your hands is a very good thing to do as well. All of these muscles and ligaments are connected to your forearm as well. So if you feel that your forearm is getting fatigued, go in and just start working those muscles. You're really not, if you grab onto the back part or the bottom part of your arm and kind of twist those muscles like this, you're basically stretching them. Just think of them as rubber bands that go from here to here. And what you want to do is stretch those rubber bands this way. On the hands, you can do it that way, but I find the most relieving form of stretching those muscles and ligaments is actually going straight with the bones and following them that way, up like this. Shaking them off is really good too. Shake off the haters. Okay, well that's it for the Immigrant Song on bass. Learn those riffs, stretch out your hands, slow down the tempo, speed it up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next series of videos. We'll work on another song. Thank you so much for coming by.